Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you guys, well, about this particular topic. Men are leaders, and when things go wrong, there is no one else to blame but the men. So we're going to watch a video. It's going to break it all the way, break it a little bit down as well in terms of my point I'm making here. Listen, don't get triggered and get mad at me, okay? I'm just reporting the news, okay? I appreciate you guys. Let's go.
He has to make that 18-year life decision in that whilst a woman has from literally day one pregnancy to at least 6 months to make her life choices. She has, and not only
and
that,
before
that,
birth control,
literally a buffet of birth control options. You're saying you, the man who's drunk, horny, and is just trying to get his leg over, that's the time you have to make life and death decisions, life-affirming decisions.
Here's the thing, I
Hold on a minute. First and foremost, decisions are still made. If you got yourself drunk and ended up having sex with somebody, listen, I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's nice. I don't think you should be, getting people pregnant. But the question is, why is it when you're drunk you decide to get horny and have sex with a person? Why? It's irresponsible to get to a point where you're drunk in the first place. It's irresponsible. Do you hear what you're saying? It's irresponsible for somebody to get drunk in the first place, to not know what they're doing and sleep with somebody unprotected and have a child. That's the first and foremost responsibility of any person, not let alone leader, any person. So that was a really bad excuse about a man who has little or no time to in terms of choice. First and foremost, you get drunk to a point and you don't know what you're doing. You're already making a poor decision. And then you end up sleeping with somebody, not knowing exactly what you're personally doing, especially if you're sleeping with someone, if you're sleeping with someone else who also is also drunk, then both of you are fools. And now, as fools, you have a fool's consequence. It's that simple. Like there's no big male woman, agenda here. Just make smarter choices. It's very simple.
I fully agree with what you're saying. The caveat to that is what I would say is this. What does it mean to be a leader?
Good question.
To take responsibility for
Good
your
question.
team. And if men have historically been the leaders, part of being the leader is you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. I'm not saying it's fair.
It's not.
I'm not saying it's fair because I completely agree. If two people lie down, they both decided to. But I think where that comes from is because men have always been seen to lead, and part of being a leader is being responsible, taking responsibility for your tribe and your team. That's why I think where that comes from. Well, okay.
I love that. And that's exactly what the answer is. It's that simple. There's no biggie. As a man, you are a leader. Stop abdicating your responsibility as a leader. You're supposed to lead. It's as simple as that, right? Now, of course, no one knows everything. But and when we talk about leadership, we talk about responsibility when it comes to your actions. Like, stop trying to blame it on somebody else. And that's why I always say that this term about, as a leader, being accountable versus being responsible. We're all responsible, right? We're all responsible for ourselves. But you become accountable when it comes to things like marriage or a project task at work or your family. You become accountable because now you have to be held to account, because if everything goes wrong, we look at the leadership. If any business starts to fail, the employees are responsible, but the accountability rests on the shoulders of the CEO. Okay, all right.
Well, even though she got pregnant and she made a poor decision, which is true, and nowadays, because of equality, you have to take accountability for that. But it's also like, okay, but as a man who's supposed to become a capable leader, he has to take more responsibility for the entire situation. I'm not saying it's fair, but I'm saying that's where that comes from.
Yeah, but I think it's...
Oh. My God. Mercy of God, my internet just dropped. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on a minute. My internet just dropped there. Let's get that back on. All right, let's get that back on.
agree. If two people lie down, they both decided to. But to lead and comes from, well, okay, well, even though she got pregnant, but it's also like, okay, but as a man who's supposed to become a capable leader, he has to take more responsibility for the entire situation. I'm not saying it's fair, but I'm saying that's where that comes from.
But I think it's just, though, there's a difference between he should, like, if you get a girl pregnant, you should take care of it. I agree.
should.
I agree, but at the same time,
There's no same time
there's
here.
a difference between putting a gun to a guy's head and saying pay for it.
I think guys should be able to have a financial abortion.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Nowadays. Yeah, of course.
At least have some parity of options the way women have.
Yes, I agree.
With the fact that they can abort, they can give it away for adoption. Women have all of these options open to them. A man literally can't say, I want this child to be adopted. The woman, if she says, I want to keep it, you're done.
And listen, it is scary. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that she has all that power. I really don't. I'll be honest with you. As a man, I don't like that. But the reality is, we all have our steps, and this is why God is so powerful. He said, let me make sure that you two both have equal sets of skills, or let me say equitable skills that are going to need to complement one another. Let me make sure that she has a little bit of power. Let me make sure that you have some strength. Let me make sure that you can work together. Because if it had not been one party takes over, look, the truth of the matter is, once you make a decision to sleep with somebody, bar her. Punching, putting a hole in your condom, bar her, lying to you about taking her pills, bar her, putting a gun to your head, there is no reason outside of those lot where you didn't make a decision. What you're saying is, I didn't mean to make this decision. You're right. You probably didn't mean to make a decision, but actions have consequences, right? So at the end of the day, whether you were drunk or not, that shouldn't. You being drunk first and foremost was the biggest mistake. Why did you think being drunk was sensible? Right? As a leader, why do you think that was being sensible? And you end up sleeping with a woman and end up getting her drunk. Now, unless she raped you, that's completely different. But she didn't. So you made a choice, right? And that's what we got. That's what we got to hold in mind. There is no but here. I feel like sometimes when it comes to red pill commentary and people trying to advocate for men, we go complete all the other side. There's nothing to advocate here. You're a leader, make a decision, you made one, you slept with a girl, you've got to deal with the consequences. That's it. If she then decides she wants to abort or doesn't want to abort or keep it, unfortunately it's no longer in your hands. That's how it goes, right? The decision's no longer in your hands, right? You can say, oh, but it's my seed. Well, you've given your seed away. Have you not deeped it? You gave your seed away. You've given a gift to somebody else. You cannot now dictate how that person used that gift. You can be annoyed. You can be annoyed that the person doesn't use the gift the way you want it to be. But once you've given it away, it's given, it's gone. You can't dictate how that person does it. So now I can't force that girl to have an abortion. I can have a conversation. I can say how I feel about it. But she might not do that. I can say I want to keep it. I can't force her to. Okay? But she can acknowledge what I've said. That's it. Because once I give it away, I no longer have control, nor power, or authority over that particular thing. Which is why you should get married first, and you can obviously have that conversation. But anyway, yeah.
What do you guys think? Would you be okay with that, since we have the right to an abortion? They could get a financial abortion where they don't pay child support?
I'm fine.
So they're talking about a financial abortion in regards to child support. It's an interesting kind of thought process in terms of that. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it because I feel like it leaves too much of a hole in a gap for certain people to take advantage of. Men already don't pay. I don't want to say all men, but there's a lot of men already that don't pay child support, and it's very difficult to get them on board. And then to add another aspect where it's like men can financially abort. You know what? Listen, don't get it twisted. The people that are really doing this kind of stuff, where they are trying to collect man's souls. Most of you men are not even making the money for these women. Most of you are not, and it's like every time we in this conversation, we start bringing top-down stuff into regular people. Let me tell you something. We know, I'm sure everybody knows one girl, two girls who will do anything to have a baby, right? Those one or two girls do not represent the general population. The people that you're talking about that are going to want to sleep with a man and get a kid is because they are sleeping with people that have means. You don't have means. You're an average man. Let's stop pretending average gal are doing what the extraordinary gal are doing to extraordinary men. You are not an extraordinary man. You're average. And you're getting average things. You're saying to these girls only want my money. You don't even have money. These girls are sleeping with us, and then you know what? They're making us have babies, and all it is because they want a check from a man. You don't even have money. What check are they getting from you? Right? Look, there are women out there that are desperate to have kids, and you know what? And they're average, and you're average too, and you're fine. Right? I get it. There are some women like that, but the general populace are not thinking like that. Let's stop trying to make the extraordinary the general. You're not. That's not your life, bro. That's not your life. Come on,
With like a financial abortion, if I don't know, if this person isn't a stranger to you, if that's the case, like you already had an agreement or whatever, maybe she's not even a girlfriend, but there's a relationship. It's just sexual, sure, but a relationship, because. That's the thing, though. If you want to do a one-night stand, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to pay for that baby.
Why?
Was that
Why?
said at the
No,
start
I
of the
think
one
it's the
night
opposite.
stand?
No,
It should be
but
the
why-
opposite.
I think
Said at
on
the
both
start.
parts, if it's a one-night stand, you're having sex with a stranger. You don't discuss. Let's be honest.
Anything.
If you're doing that,
Right. So
none
she-
of you discuss. Have you been tested? None of you discuss. Are you gonna wear? Are you on the pill? Do you even know her to even trust that she took it
But she
recently?
But does she know?
This is that is just mad. Listen to what you're actually saying. And I agree with the sister. It's madness for us as men, and we do it because we know we're horny. But it's madness to think you're gonna just sleep with a girl you don't even know and expect her to tell you the truth. I always say this, like, if you're a man, I tell my boys, listen. If you're gonna do something mad, make sure you carry your own condoms. Don't let this girl give you any condoms. Make sure you have your own. Why? Because if I end up shooting in the club, if I end up shooting up the club, we're gonna have a whole bunch of kids for what? Because you just your due diligence. You know what I mean? Let's stop pretending we're victims. We're not.
So it's at the same time both
Yeah,
are
but so
irresponsible.
why does she get a reward? Why does she
It's-
get
it-
money?
Where
That's
is the
the thing, though.
reward?
Why
Where
does she
is the
get money
reward? Hold on. What kind of nonsense is that? Stop that question. Some nonsense right there. What's that about? Where's the reward? The money is not a reward. Listen, looking after kids full time. If you've ever looked after a child full time, you know it's not a reward. You know, of course, you're rewarded a child because a child gives you life, love, and yeah. But listen, it is not a reward. Paying for listen. If you've ever looked after a kid before, some of you are not firstborn, so you don't understand. If you've been firstborn before, yeah, as a firstborn, and you look after your siblings, you don't even have to pay for them, and it's hella annoying. Your time, your energy, your resources go into them, right? I'm changing nappies. I'm distilling bottles of water. You know, I'm cuddling you. I'm doing your pat on your back. I'm doing toilet seat training. You know what I mean? I'm cradling you. Like, do you know what I mean? Do not tell me there's a reward. Why does she get a financial reward? It's not a financial reward. You're paying to keep this child alive. In all sense, like you are paying to keep food in the belly, a house on his back, and you know, and whatever else that child needs, necessity wise, right? That's what you're paying for. That's what child support is supposed to be doing. Now, do some women take advantage of it? Yes, there are some women. There's a pocket of women that abuse it. Just like there are men who abuse paying child support. There are always going to be pockets of people doing the wrong thing. Don't let that become a precedent. But that's madness to tell me why does she get a financial reward? When you put it that way, it instantly puts in a particular dynamic. Let's not do that. Like, let's not.
He doesn't.
It's not necessarily it's a financial reward for her, but it's
Brittany
not really.
Renner gets 100,000
It's not but it's not a social reward. She's a pariah.
Not
It's
nec-
she is.
not
No, not in today's
necessarily.
society.
Not necessarily in
Not in
today's
today's
society.
society.
Again, look who they're comparing. Brittany Renner is not your average bird. Okay? She flaps in different altitudes to you. You're dealing with average people here and then using Brittany Renner as it. People do this and don't realize what they're doing. You're making a precedence over people that do not exist in your normal day to day. Brittany Renner is a model. She makes different types of money. So her man, also the way she was going for, makes an extreme amount of money. Do you make that kind of money? No. You're not even in the same league. Let's stop that right there. Okay?
Forbid you want to slut shame her?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, and most
I mean,
girls,
if she
most
wants-
girls will live with that for like 200K a year. Most girls. I'll be a piranha in my
Yeah,
Ferrari.
but that's
like,
but that's not
That's a layup.
yeah, like so why does she get a reward?
but that's
Could you
that's
answer
a-
that question? Why does she get a reward?
But the question, the presence of the question again is first of all is misleading. Why does she get a reward? I'm gonna have to flip that question and be like, well, she doesn't get a reward, so let's stop that because you're asking it you're trying to drive a narrative. She doesn't get a reward. What she gets is what payment so that this child. It's not a money to her. It's money for the child. Now, if you're talking about Brittany Renner, that's completely different. That's a completely different thing. Talk about those are rich people's business, and we shouldn't be in rich folks' business. We're not a part of their business. You understand?
Poor decision.
that's the way the laws are set.
No, I'm saying, but why? So you said you would agree with it for a one night stand that she should get child support. So since you agreed with it, why does she get a reward for making a poor decision where men have to pay?
I wouldn't consider it like a reward necessarily because
18 years of money?
yeah, no, it's a financial reward, but there are other negatives that come with it.
It's unfortunate because young lady, I think women are often not. I don't know if I don't want to say women, but when you put these women on this show, I feel like they're not versed in arguments. So it's like debating. So it makes it very difficult because now it doesn't allow for the way they argue. Sometimes you look and you go, "Oh, babe, like you're about to kill your own argument," like. Because what she's trying to do to you right now is by intentionally keep on mentioning this financial reward, she's forced you down a corridor. But you need to come back out of the corridor and say, first of all, it's not a financial reward. Let's stop that because that's not what it's called. Okay, it's child support because it has a name already. It's child support. It doesn't say child reward. It's child support. Okay, because whoever's having a kid, majority of the time, ends up being the one that needs support because they're looking after that child 24/7, oftentimes, or for a period of time. So that's why it's called child support. Okay, let's not pretend it's a reward. What kind of nonsense is that?
Like if you're talking,
that can be outweighed by.
I know it's a fine. I know, but it's not. It's not really a perfect system, even for her. I'm not saying that like women who do that should be rewarded.
Drake's baby mamas are doing pretty well.
Again, you're using somebody who's rich. They do not set the precedence for average people. Your average type person, this does not set the precedence for them. It's a completely different ball game. Please, there are women out there who are trying to sleep with Drake, and he has to put whatever sauce he has to put into because people are trying to get. That's not your average man. Your average man is not getting dragged to hell for sex and children. Okay, please.
I know, but again, there's no social reward for her. Wasn't she a corn star or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, and she got rewarded for a bad decision. So I'm asking you, why is it that the women face no consequence and the men do?
Why is it that the men don't file for full-time custody? Now we can say the laws of the land, it favors the women. Okay, cool, right? You're absolutely right. It does favor the laws of the land, right? I would agree there's some bias there, right? But the men are not filing for that though. Do you understand? Like the men are not filing for joint custody until men start filing for joint custody. Okay, this is always going to be the issue. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us men who end up sleeping with women, doing this kind of stuff, the woman ends up looking after the kid majority of the time, right? Your 2 days in the 5 day out of a 7, it's not equal. Yeah, if you do 2 days on a weekend, or if you do every other week, you're not having that kid a majority of the time. Let's stop pretending that's what it is. Like I hate when people try to be misinterpret or misjudging. No, never misjudging. When they try to misappropriate certain terms and certain words to try and create a narrative. This doesn't even make sense. Like, there's no reward here, financial reward for bad idea. You are going to get money for the child because she's potentially going to be looking after the child majority of the time. If not, go and file for joint custody.
It's it's unfair. I agree.
Yeah.
It's unfair financially, and sure he should be able to, but
So you would agree then?
if you're with a stranger, if you decide to both put your pants down together with a stranger, you don't know how she's gonna raise, you don't know what her values are, you and she doesn't know anything about you either.
As a leader, and the game is rigged, and you know the game is rigged, why do you keep playing the same game? This is not even like a thing like, oh, the system is racist, it's broken. No, stop sleeping with her. You actually have a choice. Stop sleeping with her. This is not like, oh, I don't have a choice when the system is racist against me or whatever. No, it's not the same, right? It's not the same thing. In this case, you've had a kid unsolicited by sleeping with somebody who you haven't really thought about. You haven't had this conversation with. You haven't got to know them. You don't know their values. Of course, this is gonna happen. Don't blame the system now, fam. You wanna be in a situation. All you have to do was wear a condom and still enjoy the moments of sex. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, let me leave it there. Listen, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We